So, up here, I have a map and some pictures of some libraries and some facts about these libraries. And you might not be able to see. I'll move a little bit closer. So, check out this map. This is a map of Seattle, part of Seattle, the city that we all live in. And there are 4 different points on this map. You see them? So these are 4 different neighborhoods in Seattle. Do you know what neighborhood you live in? Bing, what neighborhood do you live in? Columbia City. Your library is on this map. Ava?
Sally?
Your library is on this map.
I live in North State.
Me too. Our library is on this map. Eli?
I think I live in West Seattle.
I think some other people live in West Seattle too.
They don't. No, I don't live in West Seattle.
No, you don't.
I don't know where I live.
And that's totally okay. That's okay. But Gabe, don't you live in West Seattle? And Elliot, don't you live in West Seattle? Your library's not on the map, but it's still really cool.
Yes, it
Yes, I live. Rainier Beach. I've been to that library before, but also not.
Me too. I think I've been there.
You've been there too? Awesome. So we're going to take a look at this map and look at the different points of these 4 different libraries. Are these libraries in the same part of the city?
No. No.
They're in different parts of the city. So they're in different neighborhoods, right?
I know. I live close to Rainier Beach.
You live close to Rainier Beach? Awesome.
Yeah, really close.
So,
I was
different neighborhoods have different types of resources, such as libraries. So as you can see from these pictures, not all of the libraries in different neighborhoods are the same, are they? That means also that libraries are used for different reasons.
Yeah, my library.
I'm glad you're so excited. I'm going to have you share something in just a moment. First, I want to see. Put your thumb up if you have ever been to the library in your neighborhood. Because you just moved there. What are some things that you use the library for? Why do people go to the library? Why do you go to the library? Why do other people go to the library? Gabe.
I just had a question. What's this?
So we're going to talk about those 4 libraries in just a moment. But right now, I just want us to think about what do people use libraries for? Why do you go to the library?
People use libraries for reading.
For reading?
And
Awesome.
renting out books.
They can use libraries for like research.
Research? Is that what you're going to say too? Awesome.
Using
Vivi?
computers. Yeah, to use it to get books. Lots of.
Lots of books, so you like to read?
Yeah.
Me too.
Like this one to school.
That's so great. Good.
Yeah.
To get books. Can anybody think of other reasons that people use libraries? Peyton? Okay.
To be in a good workspace.
For workspaces, they have like meeting rooms and desks where you can go and write and read and do all kinds of things. Do you agree? Awesome. Thank you, Pat.
They use it. They don't just do real research on the books. They also do it with computers.
They do. Lots of libraries have computers. Do you know? So when I was a kid, this was kind of true. The libraries had like CDs and DVDs where you could like rent movies and music. And now they have like so many. That's so awesome. So I can just go to the library and rent a movie instead of like having to go somewhere to pay for one. That's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool.
You can do it like renting machines.
Yes, I know.
You're so
I know. So now I think about, we're gonna look at those and we are gonna look at those, and I'm gonna read to you some information, or you can read it yourself. I thought it might be kind of small though, so I'm gonna read it to you. Information about each one of these libraries. And as I'm saying the information about each library, I want you to think about, what does that make you wonder about these libraries or these different neighborhoods? What does that make you wonder about? Are you clear on what I'm asking you to do? No? Can someone say that in a different way? Would you like me to repeat it?
Yes.
Great. So I'm going to read you a little bit of information about each one of these libraries. And as I'm reading the information about each library, I want you to think to yourself, like, what questions might I now have about these libraries now that I have some information about them? Does that make more sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first library is the Northgate Library. This library was built in 2006. How long ago was that? Play it.
10 years ago.
10 years ago. Interesting fact about the Northgate Library is that a community center was also built at the same time that's connected to the library. Community center is where people can go, they have all different kinds of activities for adults and kids.
Also,
Yes, so you know about community center. Great. The next library, what's that library? Some people said they live in this library. This is the Skyway Library. The Skyway Library, this one was just built earlier this year in 2016, this year. Interesting fact is, the old library was built in 1970, which was more than 40 years ago. How old are you? 8, 9? So this was 40 years ago, a long time ago. Thank you. I'm sure she would love to know you just shared that with us. Other interesting thing about this library is there hasn't been a new building in this neighborhood in more than 30 years. When usually a neighborhood gets a new building every 2 to 3 years. So there's lots of construction. There's lots of construction that's happening around Seattle right now, right? Because there's lots of things being built. That's because usually in a neighborhood, every couple of years or so, a new building is built. But in this neighborhood, it's been like 30 years since a new building has been built. The Skyway Library.
I've been there.
Now, the Columbia City Library. The Columbia City Library was most recently updated in 2004. Interesting fact about this library is that because people liked it so much, when it was first built, the outside of the library, does that look older to you?
Oh.
It's kind of old, but people liked the architecture of it so much that they haven't changed it since it was first built in 1915.
Wow.
Yeah, so the inside has changed, but the outside they decided to kind of keep the same. What's up?
1915 was like 4 years from when my dad's great aunt was born.
Oh my goodness. And 1915, that was more than 100 years ago. It was a long time ago.
What?
Last library, the one that Kylan said looked like a castle. Is that what you, was that you who said that?
It looks like one of the huge jobs.
It is. This is the Suzzallo Library, and it's a library on the University of Washington's campus. And it was most recently updated on the inside in 2002.
It doesn't look that.
Interesting fact about this library. How many books do you think are in this library?
2,000. 6 million. A billion.
I heard you say 2,000 first, is that what you said? What do you think?
Probably 2,700.
2,700? How do you know that?
I don't know.
Yeah, your answer is actually right. What did you say? There are more than 6 million books in this library.
I
There
said
are a
6.
lot of books
I
in
said
that
a
library,
billion.
right?
No, you didn't. You said something. No, I said 2,000 million.
So now, I want you to share what are you thinking about.
Billion.
Actually, I'm going to jump to a new question.
Oh.
First, which is the oldest library?
The last one. You actually never told us when the last one was built.
Which one do you think is the oldest library? How about that?
The last one.
You think the last one?
Columbia City.
Columbia City. Columbia City is the oldest one I picture. Which one is the newest library?
This
Everybody.
Skyway
Skyway Library, right? Who gets to visit these libraries? Who can go visit the library?
I'm gonna visit.
Everybody?
I've
Can
actually visited none.
anybody go to the Skyway Library?
I have.
Can anybody go to the Suzzallo Library that's on UW's campus? No?
No.
Why not?
Yeah, you can go on campus.
Okay, what do you think, Ava?
I think not, because I think that library is for only the kids who go to the University of Washington. No.
And Dan, what do you think?
I think, well, yes, in certain times you can go, because I've been at the library before. I've been to the, and I've been all around campus. Because you can go around campus during hospitality.
Mm-hmm. And Kylan, what were you saying? Can anybody visit these libraries?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
So-
I've been there.
So, the Suzzalone Library, Peyton, why do you know that anybody can visit that library?
Because I've been in the ever since I've been that much didn't go.
And do you know some people that have like been students there? Yes, right? So he knows someone who's a student there, so he knows that it's okay to go to that library. But maybe if you don't know someone that's a student there, you don't know that you can go to that library. So that's kind of like a hidden, secret kind of library unless you go to school there. So that's like knowledge that not everybody has about that library. Yes?
All three of us know it because our moms work on the university.
Yes.
And so do you.
And so do I. So I know I could go to that library, but if I wasn't a student there or if I didn't work there, I wouldn't necessarily know that I could just go to that library and have access to all those 6 million books in that
One
library.
time I lived
Hold on one second. I'm so glad you have thoughts to share, but let's make sure that we're listening when other people share. Go ahead.
Our mom is a student.
Your mom was a student there, so it's probably how you knew so much about it, right? Let's think about the Skyway Library for a moment. So, Skyway. So what year did we say this library was built? 2016. And how long had it been since a new building came in this community? Like 30, 40 years. What do you think about that? The fact that there hasn't been a new building in this neighborhood in 30 or 40 years. What does that make you think about or wonder? Why don't you turn and talk to the same partner you were talking to during our morning circle about what that means for you. Do you think that there hasn't been a new building? But there hasn't been a new
I never would have believed that
Why maybe it's not?
Skyway Library. Talking about the Skyway Library.
That would be so much fun. What were you thinking about the libraries? And how the Skyway Library is just rebuilt this year after 40 years?
They didn't have enough money.
Do you need to repeat the question?
To build a library.
Or are you thinking? So, maybe, no, you don't. Go ahead.
No, I saw it. Me? I saw it. I read like
Okay, let's see. All right, let's bring it back.
I did
4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. I listened to Joylyn and Vivi's conversation, and I asked Joylyn to share what she was thinking about with her partner.
Some people don't want to go very far because
So she was saying how like it's kind of not fair that there hasn't been a new building in a long time because then people in that neighborhood have to travel really far in order to visit a library. Is that kind of what you were saying? Do you have a connection to what she's saying? Go ahead.
We thought that they didn't have enough money, so they couldn't build a new library until they got enough money and then they built it.
Yeah, so not all neighborhoods have like the same amount of money and resources to be able to build things like a brand new awesome library. Peyton.
when we were thinking that building, library is, it would be pretty, like really garbage than all the other buildings that they have. Like you said, would be old because they haven't had a new building in a long time, so that would be a really special library for that.
Yeah, and I think Taylor, who lives in that neighborhood and teaches near that library, said like her kids, her students, when it first opened, like they're so excited about it because, like you just said, all the other buildings are kind of old and they hadn't had a new building or a new library in a long time. Yeah, Taylor's a teacher. Can you tell when she was up there doing the program?
If
Oh, she gets to talk about Taylor Smith.
That would be cool, I know. Okay, Ava, go ahead.
Something else my group was talking about, also because of how long it had been, since they had made a new area, since they had made a new library, it also probably started to get like a little dirty probably. Things started to get just kind of like broken down.
Used up, rusty, dirty, right? And that's not cool for the people who live in the neighborhood, right? So, great. We just did a little bit of thinking about how different neighborhoods have like different resources and different amounts of money, like you were saying. And so that affects the type of buildings and resources that they have in their community. So that's something for us to just keep thinking about. Now, we're gonna think about the heights of these libraries. How tall do you think these libraries are? And engage some of our math thinking. So, taking a look at, we're gonna start with the Northgate Library. And then you're actually gonna have some time, maybe today to get started, and if not, definitely tomorrow. You're gonna work with a partner to actually do some work to find the heights of these different libraries. So let's take a look at the Northgate Library. How tall do you think the Northgate Library is? How tall do you think it is? Do you have an idea of what your thumb on your chest? The very first one, the very first picture.
How about
How tall do you think the Northgate Library is? That one. See the wheels turning. All right, turn and talk to the same partner about how tall you think it is. Oh, wait a second, bring it back. Sorry, 1 second. How tall do you think it is, and why do you think it's that tall? I forgot.
I think
But why?
and then it's double. So yeah, because that's about, I'd say about, there's that one part.
Hey, what do you think it is? How many feet?
It has this.
Why don't you think That's not true. That's just not true at all.
But there's like the higher part.
Looks like it only has like box, and then like that's all it looks like, and that might be
actually has 25.
Okay, let's bring it back. 5 and 4 and 3. And your body's this way. 2 and 1. Pam, what did your group talk about? How tall do you think the Northgate Library is and why?
So at first we were talking about how it might be like around 15 feet, but then we saw there's that we noticed that there's an extra part, and also that the door was a little bit 8 feet, so we were thinking that might be around 22 feet.
So I hear that you're using different things in the picture to help you think about the height. So you're thinking about the height of the door, and then you see the extra part of the roof over here, and thinking about how much more that would be than this. So you're using other things in the picture. Great. Elliot, what did your group talk about?
My group talked about, like, we were thinking it was going to be, like, kind of close to 100 because of that box, and it looked pretty tall.
So-
it was taller than the doorway, and from the picture it looks really small.
Okay, so something that is really tall to you, you think is about 100 feet, and so you think it's about 100 feet tall. Okay, so you're thinking about what something tall is. You guys were using other things in the picture. Is there other information that would be helpful for you to know that could help you figure out how tall the library is? What else would you want to know? Ava, what would you want to know?
Maybe how tall something was next to it.
How tall something was next to it. Sadie.
How wide it was.
How wide it was? How would that help you figure out how tall it was?
Because you can kind of like see how wide it is and
And then like estimate maybe how tall it was. Okay. let's go with what Ava was saying and think about how tall something is next to it. So I have some very important people to introduce to you. Very important people. The first very important person, I'm going to show you a picture of this very important person standing next to the library, like you were saying, and in the picture it's going to tell you how tall this person is. Are you ready for this very important person? When you know who this very important person is, put your thumb on your chest. Okay? Are you ready?
I don't see it.
Who is it? I don't see it.
Is it you?
When you know, put your thumb on your chest.
I know who it is.
Wait, I didn't see. It's
Oh,
you.
It's you.
I know. It's me. Surprise! I know that's when you should recognize me. Okay.
I know.
So now, looking at this picture gives you a little bit more information. Could you figure out how tall the Northgate Library is? Could you figure that out?
No.
Could you figure that out?
You're
Could you figure that out?
That's fine. A little over 10 feet.
So I only asked if you could figure it out. And then I'm showing my thumb to remind you that you should put your thumb on your chest. Not asking for an answer. Could you figure it out? Okay, it looks like at least one person in each group has an idea of how they might figure this out. So, I'm going to send you, no, you're going to be off and you're going to explore, you're going to have a chance to try to figure it out on your own. You're going to work in your groups with your pairs or your group of 3, and you're going to try to answer the question of how tall is the Northgate Library? After you finish the Northgate Library, then there is the Skyway Library, so this time it's the same important person. The Skyway Library. Do you think you're going to get the same answer for the Skyway Library as the Northgate Library?
looks way taller.
Okay.
closer.
Then there's a third one, and here's where I have another very important person to introduce to you.
That's not you?
You.
It's not me this time.
Yes.
Hey. Okay. It's really small, so I'm going to show them to you. I'll show them to you in this picture. This is the very important person. You know who this is?
Dad. Is he a football player?
A ball.
His name is Jermaine Curse.
Yeah.
And he plays for the Seahawks. And he went to the University of Washington. And he grew up in Seattle.
So fun.
I know. So he is standing outside of the Columbia City
You're
Library.
probably going to be
And so you're
standing
gonna figure
outside
out
of that.
that one we'll probably talk about tomorrow.
I already see
Who you standing at
Does he look real on there?
I should be the special person.
Yeah, he looks pretty real to me. Okay. So when I call your group,
I don't have a group. I'm a special person. I should be.
but when I call your group, I'm gonna hand you two of these for each person in your group, and then you're gonna head to a table, and you can write on this. You can write on the front, the back, mark it up, and whatever you need to do. Hold on. To figure out the height of the library. Before I send you off, I want you to be thinking about what we talked about in our circle about working with partners and the thing that you're going to be focusing on today as you work with a partner. All right? Okay, here we go. I am going to call them that are seated and look like they are ready to go and follow directions.
Wow, he's so tall.
That's because he's a football player.
Yeah.
Sorry. Ava, Peyton, and Bianca.
One person would be because there was one person that died because he got too tall.
I think there's actually not two for each game because you're going to be having extra people right Thank you so much. And Sadie, Elliot, and Kylan.
No, it's just me now.
Actually, I asked that Sadie join your group, so it's Sadie as well. There you go.
2-hour table. 2-hour table.
Well, she has 5, so you
There's 3 kids in there.
Five is the smallest.
Okay.